Ever since they could form words in their mouths, there is a name that children all over the universe have come to fear. Freeza, the Planet Destroyer. Heroes come and heroes go, champions to raise the children's hopes, only to dash them against the rocks, as parents wonder how often they need to teach this reality. That Freeza is forever, that Freeza is inexorable, and that Freeza will always rule. But today, it is the children who are right, and the parents who are wrong. For Goku, the Saiyan race's final legacy has come at last. Will the multiverse's maniacal menace fall once and for all? Find out on today's explosive episode of Dragon Ball Z!
Joining me today for this last episode is Skyzo. You ready for some more Dragon Ball Z?
Sure, let's see.
Okay, actually this is important here. Now, I'm gonna deviate from the pure speedrun route a little bit here, in that I am actually going to buy 2 Grandpa cards. Now, the speedrun stuff is you just get 2 commies and an escape right here. I'm getting 2 Grandpas in addition to that, because otherwise I'm gonna have to sacrifice 2 characters in order to, get past a certain part of the game. Well, technically, actually yeah, it's 2 characters, and you'll see why later. Well, actually, I could talk about it right now. Also, no need to use a scatter or bubble against these guys, because there's a boss fight at the end, but it's not very hard at all. They're even weaker than the Ginyu Force. So, yeah?
Didn't you say something about a monkey that was supposed to follow us? I don't see it.
No, I didn't talk about a monkey.
You didn't? Like, I'm pretty sure you said something about the monkey, like, it stops us from encountering things for a while.
Oh, bubbles? Yeah, we don't need to use them.
So, he's like an item? He's not a companion?
Yeah, he's a card. An item we just buy.
It's kinda lame.
Ooh, we got lucky there. A Z key card. And as usual, we're gonna roll the dice with Vegeta and hope he cooperates with us. That seems to be Freeza, but, well, we'll see when we beat him. Okay, take 2. And take 3. There we go. That's the way, Vegeta. Good thing there wasn't any cutscene before that.
So, Vegeta just disobeyed us for like 3 turns in a row, right?
Yeah, we had to reset each time because that's quicker. There we go.
That really sucks.
Now, what was I saying before? Oh, yes. Okay, so the whole reason we're on Namek is because we're trying to revive our friends with the Dragon Balls, even though only one of them really died. In this version of the story, anyway. So, if any of the human characters, Krillin, Yamcha, Chaozu, Tien, if they had died at any point before this, they would be revived and come back later. You would have to wait for that point. But we're about to pass the point in the story where that's an option. From here on out, if anyone dies after this, they will stay dead. There will be no way to revive them.
Interesting.
Now, I want them alive because, it doesn't affect the ending that much, but you can actually see their sprites flying past Goku and Gohan, the characters you have to keep alive. And the more of them that are alive, the more of their sprites you'll see flying by, so it's just a nice little thumbs up that you get during the ending credits if you keep everyone alive. Anyways, let's talk about Nail versus Freeza. Now, Freeza has a power level of 530,000, and Nail only has 42,000. Freeza is literally more than 10 times stronger than him. So this fight is all about surviving. Now, most players will just get Nail killed as soon as possible to get it over with, but there's actually a secret reward that most people don't know about if Nail survives for 6 turns and then dies only on turn 7. You will get this super, really powerful card that will be absolutely necessary for defeating one of Frieza's first forms. So we bought 2 Kamis so that we could use that after every second turn. And after that, we won't need it anymore. And from there, it's just, there we go.
So what does the card do that we get?
It does 3 different things, actually. You can actually pick and choose what it does. First of all, it could cut the opponent's HP in half. It could level everyone up about 1 to 2 levels. Or it could give you 5 perfect key cards with Z attack and defense. The catch is that you can only use all of those options once. So you have to pick and choose the right opportunity to use them. That's the key.
Interesting.
Alright, and now we're going to get a choice since we kept Nail alive. Now, do we want to choose that option? Do we want to choose that option right there?
Oh boy. It just had to be broken.
Yep.
I'll choose the blank space.
So, yeah, the top option is where that uber powerful card is. The bottom option is another tail card that can multiply Gohan's power level by 10 for 1 battle. But his tail can be chopped off at any point, and it sells for less, so it is not as good as the top option.
Okay, well, I guess I might as well go ahead and ask, like, where do the Dragon Balls come from? Like, what is the origin of them?
They're created by their respective Namekian elders. On Earth, it was a Namekian called Kami, and later Dende. In this planet, it was Guru, who just died while Nail was fighting Freeza. If you hadn't held off Freeza for 6 turns, you wouldn't have gotten the wish, because Nail wouldn't have been able to distract him for long enough. Speaking of holding off, you just need to survive 1 turn with Freeza. And to do that, we're using a Grandpa card, because see, Freeza is so strong, we literally can't even hurt him with our guys.
Okay, well, I'm wondering, like, what is the purpose of them, the Dragon Balls?
They grant any wish you ask of them.
Well, yes, but why were they made in the first place?
To give humanity hope. Well, at least that was the case on Earth. Not really sure about Namek.
Interesting.
But yeah, like every time you use 1 wish, they scatter all across the globe, all 7 of them. And Kami was hoping to give humanity hope while also making sure they couldn't abuse it. But then Bulma invented the Dragon Radar. She's a side character we didn't see much of in this game. Also, pay attention to this guy's sprite. It's basically the same portrait, just one has a turban and the other doesn't.
Oh my god.
And that there, Piccolo and Nail fused their bodies, so now Piccolo has a power level of like 1 million.
Well, that's impressive. That's the highest so far, isn't it?
Yep, and they're only gonna get higher. Alright, now after we get done making our key cards, we're gonna have Porunga. Now, we can either make all cards key cards, we can reduce enemy NMP HP, or we can do that. Now, for our purposes, we want to press the blank space and reduce Freeza to half HP, because this is one we have to win. But our characters are still just as weak, but we have to reduce them by half HP, which we just did. So now, all we have to do is nail him with an attack. We'll use Tien's Split Kikaho to do that, because that is the one key attack that bypasses the evasion check entirely. So it will just end the fight right there. And then Freeza will transform into his second form, also have a power level of 1,000,000. And then we freeze him with Grandpa for a turn until Piccolo arrives and beats him into the ground.
Man, this looks so janky. Look at him.
It looked better in the show.
Damn.
Now, the thing that happened with that card we looked at was, in the original Japanese, the first line was 2 lines long. It wasn't just 1 line long like it displayed there. So, that blank space was where choice number 3 was supposed to be. And the third line was where choice number 2 was supposed to be. But the fan translator didn't really account for that. So that was the weirdness that happened there.
Man, it is like really starting to become apparent how much these animations like clog up the game. That is so unfortunate. Like, they could have just added an option to turn them off. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, at least this one was new.
True. Also, isn't this the character who can eat somebody with his tail?
That would be Cell. He's a later character. Sir not appearing in this game.
Man, that is so strange.
Alright, so what happens here is we can go and immediately fight Freeza again if we know where he is. But you don't want to do that quite yet. Instead, you want to find these NPCs that we're going to find just by flying to the upper right. It's those 2 warriors that we recruited before. And when we recruit them, they're going to want to fuse with Piccolo too. And Dende, the child on the lower right, will also want to fuse with Piccolo. So you get 2 choices. You can either fuse with all of them and double Piccolo's power level, or you can fuse with only the 2 warriors, and you'll have Dende who can heal you up to maximum HP whenever you want. Now, of course, in this game, power is everything, so we're just gonna fuse everyone into a human centipede.
Oh, that's very nice flashing. Also, I'm surprised they didn't break the options again.
Yeah, this is about the point where the cracks really start to show in the translation.
Oh, no, there's more? Oh boy.
No, I think we're past the worst. Now, you're only fighting 2 guys here, but there are also 2 other encounters before Freeza, which is why we're saving this yellow card. It's become Piccolo's style of fighting, so when you use that yellow card, he attacks everyone. And at this point, he is strong enough that he basically has the touch of death against everyone who isn't Freeza. Which is also why we want to burn up some other cards before then.
Can't even see the damage, it's just a one-shot.
Yep. Piccolo is, really powerful.
How many power points does he have?
Basically 2 million.
Jesus, that's like 10 times Goku's.
Yeah. Now, this encounter here. This one is just a glorified cutscene. You just trade blows until Freeza gets tired of fighting you, which is turn 3. And then he just runs away. And after that point, you won't find him again until you've wandered long enough on the world map. So, for once, since the game began, we actually want to have random encounters. And we're gonna run away manually. Because if we just skipped them, we won't be able to progress the game anymore.
So you have to find him.
We have to find Freeza.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to get into enough random encounters. You don't have to beat him, but you have to at least get into him.
That's so janky, man.
It is. Very janky. Which is why we're gonna get a bunch of Oolongs, as well as, one Piccolo. You see, like, you remember how I was saying your cards get weaker every time you fail to run?
Oh, yeah?
So we have a bunch of Oolongs so we can shuffle our cards. Because when your cards get as weak as they can possibly get, the run command disappears, even if you reshuffle your cards afterwards.
I wonder, like, who even are these people that were fighting in the random encounters?
Frieza's soldiers.
He's got an army?
Yep. He's an emperor.
Oh.
Now, you're supposed to have more useless battles with Freeza. 2 more, I think it was. But I saved us the trouble and just cut through all of those. And I also moved near the bottom of the world map, because that's about where the final battle takes place. I'll show you later.
Looks like the game is padding for time.
It kinda is. Now here we use the create Zeke keycards option of Porunga. Because with the Guru card... No wait, we save those for later. We just stomp Freeza into the ground with 2 well-placed special beam cannons.
Also, I noticed that you said something about evasion. I didn't realize that this game had that mechanic.
It kinda does. It seems like... I don't really know how it works, but basically, the higher your power level is, the more likely you are to just avoid your enemies outright. It seems to also have something to do with the quality of their attack. Anyways, this final form is another glorified cinematic. You just hold him off as long as you can. And if you're going for more swag strats, you'd have Freeza just beat on Vegeta as much as humanly possible. Because if you get Vegeta killed during the final stretch of the fight, you can skip an optional boss fight that comes after the mandatory final boss, if you know what I mean.
And are we going to be doing that?
Oh, of course. I'm a completionist.
Also, Freeza kind of looks like a Mewtwo, doesn't he?
He does. Now it's Goku's turn. And before we get into the final fight, we'll want to sell the Porunga card. You see, every time you use one of his options, he's supposed to reduce in value. The thing of it is, though, because this game wasn't programmed well at all, you can still sell him for the full 150 price, even though he's displayed as only selling for 50 credits. Which lets us get a bunch of Yemma cards, a bunch of Chi-Chi cards, and all the Piccolos we need. And we're gonna want about 5 of them before going into this final rush.
That's just wonderful. Let's see how difficult the final battle is.
I'm sure it will be really difficult.
Well, I hope.
Now, to find the final battle, you go right till you see the house, and then you go down all the way. Be sure to get it right, because it's very easy to get lost.
Yeah, it's like a... I mean, every environment in this game, I don't know about the show, but everything just seems like a desert, just recolored.
Yeah, that's kind of how Planet Namek is. Now, if you want the secret ending, you want to sacrifice someone other than Vegeta. It's not too hard to do that at this point either, because most of our guys are pretty weak now. See? Freeza just killed him in one shot. And after that, you want Goku to use a high-powered card, preferably a Z card so he goes first. Do that, a cinematic will play, and he will become a Super Saiyan!
There it is.
Yeah. And his power level just shoots way up. Like 5 million compared to Frieza's, I think, 4.5 million. A lot lower than it was in the show, but I think they're running out of digits.
Yeah, I mean, like, I imagine that when, like, because there's other forms of being Super Saiyan, right? There's, like, I don't know, like Ultra Mega Saiyan, I don't know. But there are higher forms, right?
Way higher forms. The show gets sort of carried away with those.
And, like, could you imagine, like, what the power level of those forms are? Like, 3 billion? Like, what?
Way higher than that. Like, in the show, Goku's supposed to be 15 billion right now, and Frieza's supposed to be at like 12 billion. Also, look at how much damage they do. Look at it. Look at it!
Damn. Yeah.
And there you go.
And that was the final battle? There was no second phase or anything?
Nope. Although, we get an optional final battle if Goku transformed into a Super Saiyan, and Vegeta is still alive. But first, all the guys that are still alive will fly by in addition to Goku and Gohan.
Interesting. I wonder who the optional final boss is.
Well, don't worry. We'll fast forward to him once this narration plays out.
Well, I guess how would you rate this game?
I'll get into that once we get to the end.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Freeze it at 241 to see that one guy programmed the entire game. Why are we... Oh. Hello there. Huh. What is Vegeta doing here, Skyzo?
He's probably gonna challenge Goku to, like, I don't know, steal his, like, power levels or something. I don't know if that's possible, but...
Well, he's claiming to have gotten the ultimate power, and he's still a bad guy at this point in the show.
Okay, let's see. Very slow text.
It's not capitalized either.
I mean, I'm not even surprised.
Okay, so, Vegeta's power level is now 6 million. And Goku's base power level is only like 5 million. And this is the first time that we can actually see our opponent's power level again, because Freeza, that option is disabled for some reason. But we have Guru. We just shoot Goku's power level up even higher than before, and we just beat up Vegeta the same way we beat up Freeza.
So this is literally like you spamming your strongest attacks over and over, right?
Yep.
So that's what this game boils down to. That's unfortunate.
Especially when you get after Frieza's first form. Like, the game kind of becomes a glorified cinematic at this point.
Yeah, that's what you get when you have questionable design choices, right?
Yeah, and you're too faithful to the show, which is basically a Western, but in space.
Yeah, so here's the true ending, I assume.
Well, it's one of the endings. It's an ending. It's not the canon ending. Now then, here is another way. If we have Vegeta die, Goku will still turn into a Super Saiyan, and Vegeta will not be alive to turn on us. This is actually the speedrun approved way, because it's the quickest and the easiest. Now, here is another way we could have done it. We could have nobody die, and Piccolo and Goku could just use the Kaioken and beat Frieza without Super Saiyan. This is actually the hardest way to do it, I think. And the most cinematic, because if you notice, this is the only fight, one of the only fights in the game that use alternate music. Did you notice that?
Now that you pointed out, yes.
Now, the tricky thing is, you kind of have to beat Frieza in 5 to 6 attacks or less, because the Kaioken drains 10 key points for every turn you have it up. And the Kamehameha also takes 10 key points. And 4.5 million isn't that much higher than what Frieza has, so it takes like 5 full-powered Kamehamehas at his weakest to bring him down. This is much more resource intensive. See, we're almost out of cards now.
Well, this just seems like you are... Like, this is the equivalent of, like, getting into the Elite Four with, like, a level 30 Pikachu and, like, spamming healing potions. Like, this is what that is, right?
Yeah, I couldn't argue otherwise. As for the game itself, I enjoyed it. It was very faithful to the show. I think it ended at the perfect place, though, because I feel like it runs out of steam towards the end.
Yeah, and if the game, like, continued, and the translator, like, needed to do more work, like, the game would just break, and you wouldn't play it, so...
Yeah, I'm sure the translator was really glad it ended when it did, too.
Yeah, pretty much. Although, like, what would you rate this game?
6 out of 10? You'll enjoy it if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, but if you're not familiar with the show, you'll just get like a really simplistic, really drawn-out RPG where there's not a lot of strategy.
Yeah, and just for playing the translated version, you'll also be in for some surprises, but... Well, for me, personally, I haven't played the game, so I guess I can't judge too much, but from what I've seen, it's about a 4 out of 10, so not too great, but... Well, they tried.
Yeah, they tried.
It just kind of has this issue where it just repeats the same animations over and over, and you have to waste a bunch of time. I think that's the biggest issue with the game.
Yeah, that's what I say. Anyways, this is Fiona DeQuester and Skyzo. Have a nice day, everyone, and God bless you all.
Okay, well, see you, YouTube.
Bye.